Coach Anthony.
What's
What's
good?
up?
How you doing?
About damn time.
What's going on?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, man. The Prestige Trainer. Work with a lot of amateurs. Got a great YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Coach Anthony. Y'all already know. Work with Tevin Farmer, the likes of Tevin Farmer. Been to the tutelage of Jeff Mayweather as well, and a bunch of great minds in the sport of boxing. What's new?
Chilling, man. Just staying busy with this with the internet training. I've been pretty busy with that. I got a couple of fighters that I work with, you know what I mean? So I've been working with Tevin and I've been working with a couple of other people. And that's it, man. Just trying to maintain and weather this storm that we're dealing with right now. You know what I mean?
How was business when, especially when the coronavirus, COVID-19, the pandemic hit? How did it affect your business?
Oh, it affected me big time because, I had to close my gym actually. But I was actually in the process of just moving locations. So I had a gym that I had for quite some time. And then I went ahead and we were just going to go ahead and move from one location to the other. So the timing was kind of perfect in a sense, but, because I was already in the process of getting everything out of there. But then the COVID hit. So I couldn't really go ahead and reopen at the location that I thought I was going to reopen at. So now basically my whole gym's in storage and I'm just bouncing around working out at different spots for now because I don't really want to commit to anything just yet because I don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? I'm starting to see now like places that was open like Korea and Canada and them kind of places, they're starting to reclose and they were open way before us and then closed way before us. And, and so I'm saying to myself, what's the chances of us getting shut down in the next 30 days or something like that? So I'm not really trying to, put myself in that position right now.
Nah, it's true. It's true. They're talking about if it's like this for the next 7 days. I think in New York, if it's like this for the next 6 days, that there's going to be certain things going to shut down again.
See what I'm saying? This is crazy, man. So it's like being a gym owner right now is one of the roughest things in my opinion. Owning a gym right now is rough because you just have no certainty of what the future holds and having all that overhead. It's like, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah. And they suing a lot of people. A lot of gym owners are suing the state. So I feel you, man.
Yeah.
So how you started, man? Because it's usually like fighters turn into trainers, or they was fighting in the amateur, or they was professional but didn't have a great professional career, decent career, and they turn into trainers. How it started off for you?
It started off similar. I was an amateur boxer, you know what I mean? And I always loved boxing, but I started boxing and I had my first amateur fight around 16 years old. And I did some stuff as an amateur. I was never anything prestigious as an amateur, like a national Golden Glove champion or nothing like that. But I have my amateur experience, and I also sparred a lot of professional boxers along the way. So I got a lot of experience just as a whole, just being around boxing, fighting myself a little bit. And what ended up happening was I always had a niche for teaching. It was to the point where when I would be training it for myself, when I was actually boxing, I'd stop what I was doing if I saw somebody doing something wrong, to the point where the trainer would be like, yo, you get on the bag, let me do my job. And I'd be like, all right, my bad, or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? I always just liked helping people and correcting them and teaching what I know. And it was just a natural thing. So then what ended up happening was I moved back to New Jersey because I'm from New York City, grew up in Queens. Then I moved down to Florida. I lived in Florida for a minute. And then when I decided to move back to New Jersey is when I decided to open up a boxing gym. And when I opened up the gym, my goal wasn't to be a trainer. My goal was to just open up the gym and put other trainers to work, you know what I mean? And just be like this business owner and, make money. I always had a get money mentality, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that's how it was going to go. But then I found out real quick that the gym business ain't just go in there, put people to work, get money. I realized it was a real grind. So in order for me to stop, it's dark. My side look dark, right?
Yeah, it's a little dark.
Yeah. I was noticing that. But what was I going to say, man? So I realized to save money, I decided that I'm gonna start coaching people myself. You know what I mean? Instead of hiring a trainer. And it just turned into one of those things where I was just doing my thing. And then since I'm in the Philadelphia area, my name started buzzing in the area. Like certain pro fighters saw my mitt work on the internet. I would post a lot of mitt work, you know what I'm saying? Like the flashy Mayweather style mitt work. And a lot of these fighters liked it at that time, because this was back in like 2012. And that mitt work was just starting to get like popping for a regular guy to do. Anybody who wasn't Roger Mayweather doing it was kind of like, oh snap, you know how to do that? You know what I mean? Yeah, so I was doing it, and people were like, yo, like this new guy out here, Coach Ant, yo, he's nice with the mitts. And that's how it really started. So I went from working with lower level pros, and then it turned into Hank Lundy and different guys like that. And then next thing you know, one thing just led to another. That's basically how it all started.
Yeah, because I understand what you're saying about money. Probably you also changed when you figured that you could change lives at the same time.
Oh yeah, that's what happened later, right? So I go into it with forget money mentality because I'm a businessman, right? Then it turns into something different. It becomes like, you start seeing the progression, especially like working with the kids, right? So I start working with these young kids, 7 years old. Next thing you know, they're still in the gym 2 years later. And now we're fighting, and we're winning competitions, and we're traveling, and we're doing all this stuff. And then, or I take a kid, the neighborhood that I was training people in here in New Jersey, there wasn't a lot of, it's not like the inner city, right? I'm in a part of New Jersey that's a little suburban. I get, kids that don't come from the toughest backgrounds. They're a little bit nervous or a little bit passive aggressive. They're scared. And then I go ahead and I give them this confidence now. Now they moving around, and they're confident, and they're not scared to go to the cities now because they feel like they know how to defend themselves, and they understand, the mentality like that. So just taking guys that, have low self-esteem, or females who have low self-esteem, older people who think that they're too old to do this. You got a lot of people who are in the 40s and stuff that kind of be like, yeah, I know I'm too old. Or even I hear it from people 25 years old. Man, I'm old, man. I can't do this. And I'm like, dog, you 25, man. Get in there, man. Let's get to work. You know what I'm saying? So it changes their mindset on everything. And boxing is deeper than world championships. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I just think that a lot of people, when they look at boxing, everything is a world championship. But the boxing life could be for anybody. You know what I mean? It could be for anybody.
Yeah, exactly. I want you to tell the people, because I feel like the trainers are the first ones to get the blame if their fighters lose, but they don't know what's the sacrifice of a trainer, like with multiple fighters as well. You taking, just like they taking time away from their family when they go to camp. A fighter could take their break, but you that might be working with multiple fighters, you're not taking any break. You're still making that type of sacrifice. You're probably the first one in the gym, the one out, and the last one out. What is the sacrifice that it takes to be a trainer, and a world-class trainer at that?
Oh man, there's so much sacrifice, man, because you see, this is the problem with the fighters and the trainers. The biggest issue for a trainer, and not to talk about money, but it's the financial situation for a lot of trainers. A lot of boxing coaches, they got families too, right? Got children, got families. They want to be able to provide. And when you're working with the amateur boxers, especially, there's no money in it. Even if a kid comes in and he's paying you $100 a month, $150 a month, and that's a lot of money to him. Like, yo, I'm paying you $150 a month, coach. Yeah, that's true. You're paying me $150 a month, but when you consider the traveling we do for sparring, when you consider the traveling we got to do for competition, when you consider how many hours I'm coaching you throughout the day, I might be coaching you 2 hours, 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? I'm going out my way to find you sparring and all that stuff. It's a lot of time. So the biggest sacrifice a coach has to decipher is, can I still survive trying to help this kid? But the kid only looks at it as, what you gonna do for me? Like, I'm working hard. Don't I deserve it? And it's like, I understand you deserve it, but I got to make a living. You see what I'm saying? So trainers run into this problem if you talk to 100 trainers and tell them what's the biggest issue they're dealing with, is the money situation. Same thing with the professionals, right? So, for instance, if you get a pro and he doesn't make money for 15 pro fights, I've been coaching you for 15 pro fights, getting 10%. 10% of what? You made $800. I've been training you for 90 days. What am I getting? $80. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you feel what I mean? So it's like, it really always comes back down to the financial sacrifice that a trainer has to do, because it's like, I'm putting in hours and hours and hours and hours, and the return is very small unless you get lucky and you get like a big name fighter, you know what I'm saying? And that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part for a trainer, I believe, in the sacrifice and trainer. Plus, you put in all these hours, and then the next thing you know, the kid says, yo, I'm going to go train with so-and-so down the street. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go hire Freddie Roach now because I think he could take me to the next level. Yeah. Or you know what? I don't want to box no more. I want to be a doctor. It's like, dog, like, oh, what? You want to be a doctor? Or I want to be a rapper now. I don't want to box no more. And I just spent 4 or 5 years with you. So there's so many sacrifices that a trainer, and then it's just like, damn. So then what happens is you do that for a certain amount of years, and then you start looking at fighters like, do I trust him? Do I believe he's really going to go through with this? Is he going to stick with me? And it creates that trauma for a trainer, where trainers are standoffish. Like, you know what? I don't even want to work with nobody no more. You know what I mean? It gets crazy, bro.
Yo, it's like the Andy Ruiz situation. He put him, get that chip. He got all these belts, and then after that, it's like, that's it. He lets go of the trainer. I'm like, damn, y'all been through it all.
What happened with Triple G and his trainer? I mean, I don't know the whole story, but it seems like that. What happened with Danny Jacobs and his trainer? I don't know the whole story, but you see what I'm saying? So, and you got guys like that who've had these kids since they was 8 years old. That, Danny Jacobs' trainer had him since he was a kid. I don't know his situation. I don't want to talk on it, but at the end of the day, it's situations like that a trainer would be like, damn, like, I sacrificed. I didn't make no money. I traveled with you. I did this from the goodness of my heart because I want to see you win. You promised me that when you get to that championship level, you were going to take care of me, and now you want to dump me, man? Like, so that's kind of where it's at. So, yeah, of course, this isn't every situation, but it happens, and it makes trainers say to themselves, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth the commitment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I feel you. Remember, I asked you this question on your IG, and everybody follow Coach Anthony on his IG. I asked you, who should run the training camp, the trainer or the fighter? Because it seems like when the fighters get to a point, then the people around them becomes yes man. Then they're the one that start. It seems like from the outside looking in, they're the one that's running their training camp. When they get to the higher level, who should be running the training camp, the trainer or the fighter?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. When you ask me that on the question, is a great question, because like you said, when you get to a certain point, egos get involved. You know what I'm saying? These fighters get really ego because they got people around them. You know what I'm saying? They got their girlfriends, they got their homies who don't know anything about boxing. They got all these people saying like, yo, man, you know what I mean? So now you start thinking like, yo, I did this by myself, man. I'm the one who went in the ring. I'm the one who took them punches. I'm the one who did this and did that. But it's like, hold on. Yes, you are. And you deserve all the credit for that. But how much did you know when you first came to me? How much did you actually learn when you came to me? If I had you from the beginning, if I taught you from the beginning, the jab, the cross, and the hook, and now we're fighting for a world championship, and now you're questioning me, that's a big problem. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, man, that's because you did all the work, bro. I taught you everything you know. So now all of a sudden you big, you don't want to listen to me now because you think that you know more than me because you've been in the ring, dog. I've guided you. And then you got some fighters, they lose, and after they lose, they don't want to feel that blow to their ego no more. So now they switch things up. They start telling their trainers who they're gonna spar because they don't want to get their ass beaten sparring. They start sparring easy work. They start doing things to make their ego because they can't handle that blow to their ego. And then the trainers, back to money. I don't know why money keeps coming up in this conversation. These trainers ain't making enough bread, so they can't talk up Because if they go ahead and talk up, all of a sudden they get fired, and now they fired and they don't got their cash cow no more. So what do? They stay quiet. They let the fighter act how they want to act, and now they fighters go out there and get knocked out again. And then next thing you know, they all out of a job now. You see what I'm saying? Because
it does messes up the portfolio, right?
It ruins everything because the fighter now doesn't have any. The fighter now is getting his ass beat. So now he don't look good. He can't fight no more. The trainers look bad because the trainers are the ones training the fighter who got his ass beat. So now nobody else want to train with the trainers. You feel what I'm saying? The fighter going to blame the trainer, and the trainer going to blame the fighter, and it's just going to look ugly. So that's the biggest problem. So I just think that if you're a fighter, get with a team, get with a coach who you trust, so you don't have to question if you want to listen to him anymore. If you don't, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to listen to him anymore, if you don't want to do that stuff. You feel me? I got to ask you, I want to do these podcasts too. How is your lighting so good and my lighting look like this though? Like,
yo, is this light? Let me
bro. You got a nice setup over there.
Let me see if I could turn. I can't turn it around. Let me see better. It's the ring light. I got ring light.
I got one of those. Should I go get it? I see.
Yeah, it's good. No, yeah. I got. It's the bigger one. It's the bigger one.
Yeah, I got one of them.
Yeah, man, get that. Like I use it in my backyard too. My wife, she be working out, and we be filming videos for her.
You put it right in front of you.
Yeah, it's right in front of me.
Oh, okay, all right. I got one in the other room, man. I just need to make sure I use it next time.
Yeah, use it, yo. It's good, and it could go light. It could go lighter. I got it real low right now.
Right.
I got it real light. Yeah, get that. Okay. I was gonna ask you because we're looking at it from the trainer standpoint, but what about the fighter standpoint? What about if the fighter, if they feel like the trainer took them up to a point where they just can't learn, they want to learn something else, but the trainer is not. That's it. It's like they hit what you call it, a plateau, whatever. They just hit the ceiling with the trainer. Or it has to be a communication thing where, you know what, I don't feel like I'm growing, but can you implement this? Or would a trainer bring another trainer to help them out? Because it looks like nowadays that's what they're doing nowadays. Like a lot of collaboration. Barry Hunter, Kevin Cunningham, was working with, or let's say like Kenny Porter and Barry Hunter working with Porter. And I think like trainers are collaborating now. You think that's a good idea?
It can be, and it can be. It just depends if the trainers can work together. I think that yes, once a fighter feels that he is plateauing, it is in his best interest to seek out a new trainer. Now, if you want to stick to a loyalty thing, then yes, you can bringing in somebody new. There's nothing wrong with that. I definitely believe, though, if a trainer has been doing you right at least by the measures that he feels he's doing you right. You know what I mean? He's trying. He's showing up to training. He's not missing sessions. He's training you. He's giving you information. He's doing everything he could in his knowledge. He deserves the respect of you saying, look, man, I feel like I'm not growing. I feel like that we need to implement some new things. Or I feel that I'm either going to have to, you know what I'm saying, seek out somebody with more experience, or I'm going to have to bring in somebody to help you, and maybe you can learn from him. That is how you do business. That is how you do things. So I am totally for that. Now, the trainer, who's the original trainer, has to be man enough to say, I agree with you. No problem. Let's see who we could bring in that's going to be a right fit for our team. Or he has to just accept the fact that he's being replaced. But if the fighter does it with integrity, you can't be mad at the fighter because the fighter only has one career. And if he doesn't do right by his career, that one career, then that's all he got. Trainers can always get another fighter. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just feel that there is definitely a fine line and a boundary there. And I just think that as long as there's communication, man, it's kind of like a female and a male relationship. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, breaking up with your girl without notice, you might want to get like, yo, sweetheart, like, yo, get it together. You know what I mean? The same thing vice versa. Like, you can't just get up one day, you come out where's all your clothes? Where's all your, like, you just left me? You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what happened to a lot of these fighters and trainers. These trainers calling their fighter, yo, you're not picking up. Next thing you know, you look on Instagram, you're training with somebody else. You feel me?
It's like that Hopkins Richardson. Shout out to Richardson. God rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. But that hurts. That hurts to a trainer because it's a very intimate relationship with a fighter and a trainer. Very intimate.
Oh, yo, Bill Haney, he just hit me. He said, "Yo, he said, what's up, Bill Haney? Devin Haney's pops just said, what's up right now."
Oh, tell Bill Haney I said what up, and I actually hung out with him a couple of times when Tevin Farmer fought. Devin Haney was there, and I actually hung out with Bill a couple of times. And Bill's a stand-up, solid dude, man. I got a lot of respect for that guy.
Yeah, man, and it's also I was gonna piggyback on what you were saying because I had a conversation with Henry Garcia, Ryan Garcia's pops, and he said, I could have easily just kept training my son, but I felt like I took him to a place, and then I'd rather have Eddie Reynoso than take him to a higher place, and it's hard for a trainer father to do that, to just be like,
what Bill did?
No, what Henry Garcia, Ryan Garcia's pops. He said that, I took my son to a point where I could take him, but now I needed to bring somebody in and Eddie Reynoso to, enhance the skill set, sharpen up the tools or whatever. So it takes a lot of
That shows you that he has his fighter's best interest, but that's also his son. You see what I'm saying? When it's your son, it's different. Because your son is gonna be your son till death do y'all part, and it's not about the money when it's your son. You feel me? You want the best for your son. You want your son to be safe. You want your son to have the best tools. You want him to be as successful as he can be. But when you're doing trainers and fighters, is always a little different because the trainers get attached, but we also know that we don't have full control because we're not blood and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? So I think for a father, it's a little bit easier for him to go ahead and say, look, but fathers also have a hard time with ego too, because I've dealt with fathers. I've dealt with fathers who know a little bit about coaching, and then they come in with their kids and they want me to coach them, but then next thing you know, they're coaching them, and I'm just sitting there like, dog, you brought your kid to me, but you're not letting me coach your kid. It happens so many times where I'm like, yo, like, what do I do in this situation? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you don't want to get in the middle of it.
I don't want to get in the middle because that's your kid, but you did come to me for training. Like, let me be a coach. It makes a coach say, I don't know what to do. So now at this stage of my career, you know what I'm saying, a father has to let me do my job, or I'm just not interested. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. When Tevin Farmer going to fight again? What's up with you and Tevin?
Tevin's my guy. Right now, Tevin's dealing with this, this whole Jojo Diaz thing. And Jojo Diaz is apparently trying to pull out of the fight, and he has a mandatory rematch with Tevin Farmer, and he doesn't. It seems like he doesn't want to honor his mandatory, but Tevin didn't have to fight Jojo Diaz. That's the crazy thing that people don't realize. Jojo wasn't a mandatory. Tevin did that because Tevin wanted to give people the best fights. You know what I mean? He fought 5 times or 6 times he defended his title, and he wanted to step up and he wanted to show people that I can fight guys like Jojo Diaz. There was some things that went wrong in that fight. Obviously, Tevin didn't come out on top. I'm not going to tell the story. I'll let Tevin tell it when he's ready. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Tevin wants a rematch.
Basically, morally, he wants that get back. Morally.
Yeah, and it was on paper, right? If like right now, if me and you make an agreement, like, yo, bro, after this interview, we're going to do another interview. You know what I'm saying? As long as you give me this interview, you're going to get a second one. And then when I go for my second interview, now it's a big problem. It's the same thing. Like, you guys agreed to this, and it's written on paper. And now now they don't want to honor it. And I really don't understand that when Tevin wants the rematch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand that Tevin said, yo, man, I don't want the rematch. He wants the rematch. Jojo got no say in this. Jojo got to fight him. Now, if he doesn't fight him, then, then they got to go forward with the legal proceedings that they're already talking about going forward with. So it's a lot going on right now, man. Hopefully Tevin can get that squared away because I know this is something on his back that he wants to, you know what I mean, get off his shoulders. You know, he wants that rematch. Win, but let the best man win. You feel what I'm saying? Nobody's saying you're going to go in there and knock him out in the rematch. Or you're saying, yo, give me my rematch. That's all I'm saying. Give me the rematch. You win again, you won 2 times, I go about my business. But if I win, I want my title back. You feel me? And that's it. You know what I mean?
That's the way boxing should be. That's the way that boxing should be. What are you so what you feel about you in the beginning? You were saying about, you know, people noticed you when you was doing the pad work around the community and around the neighborhood. What do you feel about teachers and just trainers, teachers or trainers that just do the pad working? It seems like there's less teachers than actual. What do you feel about the landscape of trainers and boxing trainers in the sport of boxing right now? Is there a lot of teachers, or it's becoming like dinosaur like?
You know, that's a hard one because if you let the old timers tell it, they'll say there's no more teachers. You know what I'm saying? You let the old timers tell it. But I will say, when I go to some of these amateur tournaments, like I got a kid who's 14 years old named Gabriel Crespo. If he sticks with boxing, he'll be a world champion 100%. And he's a fantastic fighter. He won the nationals. When we went ahead to the nationals, I saw a lot of kids that could fight, like really could fight. And I'm not just saying rumble. I mean, they had IQ. So somebody's teaching. Somebody's teaching. These kids ain't just waking up with these skills. Somebody's teaching. But I will say, with the pad work, what happened was the fancy mitt work that I've done for many years. And I tell people what I do it for. Like I'm real honest about it. Somebody say, yo, what's up with that mitt work? I be like, bro, it looks good. It gets attention. You know what I'm saying? And it's fun. And we do it when we want to do it. But that's not what we do. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not what we do. We do it for fun. We do it just to run the numbers. Sometimes we do it just to get cardio out of it. But when it's time to teach, when it's time to learn, when it's time to focus on what needs to be focused on, that's what we focus on. A lot of times when I'm working with my amateurs to get ready for an amateur fight, I don't even do that mitt work at all. That mitt work gets no mitt work. None of that mitt work gets put into play. We end up doing that when we want to just do like a little video. Like one of my kids will be like, yo, man, let's do something for Instagram. I say, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like, yo, this mitt work is going to make you a boxer. So then what ends up happening, you got a lot of guys who just fall in love with that mitt work, who never boxed before. They start teaching it, and then they start marketing themselves as real teachers. And it's like, my man, you're not a real teacher. You're just a boxing coach, fitness coach. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I don't have a problem with the boxing fitness community. I don't got a problem with the YouTubers who want to box. I don't got a problem with nothing. Anything that's going to bring attention to the sport, I'm 100% with. Just know your lane.
KSI Logan Paul.
Yeah. I don't got a problem with KSI Logan Paul. A lot of people don't like it. Look, I don't care, because guess what? All them people who never watched boxing before, now they watching boxing. Now they might want to train with boxing. Now they might actually be fans of the sport. And it might breed a new boxer. One of those fans might be a hidden talent that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden he picks up boxing because of Logan Paul, and you got yourself a bad boy. So I don't have a problem with it. It's just that when people get the two confused, that's when the issues come up. Like, yo, man, that's cool. Do your thing, but don't get it twisted. Respect your elders type of a mentality. Like, know who's really doing this and who's not. And I just think that's why I started my YouTube channel. Yeah. Coach Anthony Boxing, for those who don't know, for people to see that I'm a teacher. I'm not just a mitt guy. I'm a teacher. And I just felt like that right there was necessary for me, because a lot of people follow me on the internet need to know that there's a difference. You know what I mean?
Nah, when people talk about trainers and people like your channel, people like the YouTube channel, they be like, Coach Anthony, the teacher. The one that be teaching that, because when you're doing everything, you're explaining everything. You do a great job, yo. And I see a lot of channels. You teach, you're very detailed, and when you're telling a person why this punch should be thrown, why you should cover up, what should be the next one, what should be the counter to this, pivoting, you very, very detailed, and you break it down very concisely. That my son, that's 13, but he's seen your stuff since he was like 12 or 11, you could get through a child and an adult, and it's like it's concisely. I love the way you teach, bro. I love the way that you teach.
I appreciate it, man. And for me, it's like and the reason why I'm able to do that, I believe, is because I had to teach so many people who don't know how to box. It's real easy to get a guy. It's real easy to teach a guy how to box. Who has natural ability, who already knows how to box. Let me see you take a person who's uncoordinated. Let me see you take a person from the suburbs who doesn't have an ounce of fighting in them. And let me see you take a person who has no rhythm and teach those type of people how to do it. And I've been doing that for the last 10 years, training people who you would never expect to do it. And then the next thing you know, they're doing it. So that's where I really learned, like, I got to explain everything. I can't just explain, slip over and rip that shot. I got to say, when you slip over, you drop this shoulder here. And then when you drop this shoulder here, you want to rip it right. You know what I'm saying? Because if I demonstrate it, they might try to do it and it looks stupid when they do it. But if I explain, the shoulder goes here, the shot comes here. You got to look out for that shot. So now we got to go here. Stuff like that. And that's how I try to break it down.
What's the amateurs out there you working right now that's close to going pro, or probably hitting the Olympics circuit? Who you working out right now? The youngins.
Well, I got a girl, Natalie Dove, who's ranked number 2 in the country. She was ranked number 1 for a very long time. She just turned 18, so now she's an elite. So she's an elite, ranked number 2 in the United States of America at 112 pounds. And then I got, like I mentioned, the kid, Gabriel Crespo. He's only 14, though. He's very young. But everybody in this Philadelphia region knows who he is. He's been beating kids with 50, 60 amateur fights before he had 10 fights. He's just a natural, and he's a real, real good boxer. So he's 4 years away, though, before we can even consider anything like that. You know what I mean? But, he's another one. I got another kid named Marshall, who has 40-some fights. He's pretty good. And then I have I worked with a kid, but right now he's doing all the traveling. His name is Jamar Talley, and he's a Olympic alternate. Actually, I felt that he won in December, but he ended up getting the alternate position, and he's doing all the traveling with them right now. He's at 201 pounds, heavyweight elite male. So that's people who I've been working with or worked with as of recent. But right now I'm not really doing too much because of this whole COVID situation. They're just staying in shape and working out on their own, and I'm showing up here and there, but we're not in the trenches grinding the way we was grinding before, unfortunately.
Yeah, man, it's very unfortunate this time. Got everybody going crazy. Who's your Mr. Miyagi's? Mr. Miyagi, the guys that you work under.
Mr.
Miyagi's of the game.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't really have too many Mr. Miyagi's, but I have people who I've asked for advice and tips throughout the years. Like there's a guy, he's not very probably well known on the internet, but he was a professional fighter. He was a world ranked fighter. His name is Dangerous Dave Luter out of Florida. He's a fantastic teacher. There's one of those guys that's a really good teacher who people probably don't know who the hell he is, but you know what I mean, unless you're in that Florida area. But he was a fantastic teacher. I learned so much from him. I got guys who I talk to here in Philadelphia regularly, like Billy Briscoe, who trained Gabriel Rosado. But he's another boxing encyclopedia, and me and him have conversations on a regular basis, and we break down techniques to each other. But I've also had the pleasure of working next to Jeff Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Who's obviously a Mayweather. You know what I mean? I wouldn't call Jeff a Mr. Miyagi because we don't, we just kind of worked with each other. I never really sat there and watched him and learned, but I had the opportunity to be shoulder and shoulder with him, and that's just an honor to me. And then you got guys like the local guys out here in the Philadelphia area who I work with, like Rasheem Jefferson, who has a bunch of kids coming up, and he's a good trainer, and Chino Rivas, who has a lot of guys here in the South Jersey area. Who Tevin Farmer was his head trainer for many years. So I've been around a lot of guys who had a lot of good quality, and I just sat there and learned. And when I was working with guys like Hank Lundy and then Eric Hunter, a lot of the old school Philadelphia guys, and so I'm the type of guy that's take a little bit from everybody. Anything that I saw that I liked from any trainer from when I was an amateur to right now in the professional level, that I just take it all, man. I just soak it all up. But
That's
I
what's
can't
up.
say there's one guy. I can't say there's one guy who I'm just like looking at him like, man, he's got all the answers because, I'm the type
A
of guy.
little bit of everybody just made your style.
A little bit of everybody, and I always try to say, like, let's say, and no disrespect to anybody I'm learning from, but if I'm learning, and a lot of times when I'm learning, they're not teaching me. I'm just sitting back watching. You see what I'm saying? That's how I learn. It's not like I'm like, yo, man, I'm just watching, and I try to make it better. I'm always trying to make what they're doing better. So if I see, let's just say I see Freddie Roach doing a move, right, on a YouTube video, I'm watching and saying, that's good. How can I add to that? How can I make that better? What is he forgetting? What is he doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just take his stuff as gospel. I just take what I like and try to make it mine. You know what I mean?
That's what's up. Yeah, man. I figured that because, of course, you from the Philly area, people going to be like, what's your style? Is it the shoulder roll styles, the Philly shell? What is it? But the way that you be teaching, you teach everything. So for me, I wouldn't ask that question really, because you might be what Jersey, Philly area, New York, and when I see you teach, I don't see you. I see you teaching everything. So I mean, people will want to ask, is that your style? But I just see you that you have a lot of styles and stuff in your game. But somebody want to say what's up to you, man. Somebody will say what's up to you.
Yo,
Coach
Billy.
Coach
What's up,
Anthony?
my man?
What's up, my guy? How you doing, brother?
I'm just out here, willing and dealing. You know what I mean? How you doing?
Oh man, listen, I'm calling to give you your roses and tell you that you're doing a great job. Some people in life are meant to play, were born to play, and then there are some born teachers, brother, and you're definitely one of them. I've been fortunate to sit down with a lot of great big name coaches that were former fighters, brother, and everything that I've heard, to go to your channel at times to hear it, and not only just to hear it said, but for it to be explained the way that you explained, brother. You was just born to do this, and I just want to tell you how great a job you're doing, and I'm watching. You know what I mean? I'm one of them guys, just like not just Freddie Roach, not just Mayweather Senior, but I'm looking at you too, brother. You know what I mean?
Man,
So
that's a big compliment. I know you've been around the block, baby. That's a huge compliment, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to say that to me, man. It's a big deal.
Yeah. No, I had to, brother, because anything else would be creepy, right? Be watching all your videos and watching your shit and then seeing you on here and can't come on here and give you your roses. So, Coach Anthony, please keep doing what you're doing, brother. And you got my number and everything. Whenever you're out in Vegas, look us up, brother. Okay.
You already know, man. More success to you guys, man. Keep pushing. Y'all gonna be undisputed one day. Undisputed.
I appreciate you, Mr. Moonshine himself.
Salute.
Guys, thanks for having me, bro.
Appreciate you.
Take care.
That's amazing, man. I appreciate you doing that, man. That's dope.
Yeah, man. They look at you, Coach Ed, man. It's true, man. Especially in boxing, which is a lonely sport. It's probably a lonely sport also for trainers too. Y'all don't get the credit. Y'all the first one that get booted out. You're the last one to get the credit. The fighter's doing it. Change the trainer. That's the first thing. Change the trainer. Deontay Wilder loses. Change the trainer. Anybody that's whack though. That's whack.
Right.
You want to say anything where people should look you up? I already know I said Coach Anthony IG. The YouTube channel is awesome. Anybody, man, you could learn a lot of things from that YouTube channel for real. I even when I get my pad where I'll be like, honey, let me see what Coach Ant said. Sometimes I'll be like, yo, just look at videos, man. I don't know it all. Just look at go to Coach Ant and look at his video. But yo, even in the BX, yo, when they be like, yo, doing the boxing stuff, like, yo, you Coach Ant, yo, I know him. I went out with that dude before. My cousin was like, yo, go look him up. I'm like, all right. So
I got a lot of people in the Bronx, man, that I bang with, man. It's like my favorite borough, man. But man, you can find me on Coach Anthony Boxing. That's where I sell the digital premium downloads. That's where I'm teaching everything from the footwork to the Philly shell. I just dropped a new one called Defensive Principles 101, where it's really not about anything, but is everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of different things on my website, counter punching, angles, the whole nine. Of course, you got my Coach Anthony Boxing YouTube channel, where if you don't want to go to my website and buy anything, I got so much free information on there that, you know what I mean, there's no excuse from why you can't learn or at least get in my brain, because I'm constantly teaching, literally drop something today. And my Instagram, Coach Anthony, and everything is basically Coach Anthony, man. You know, I try to keep everything.
So what's the website again? What's the website?
CoachAnthonyBoxing.com.
All right.
CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. So you can go on there if you want to purchase something. That's where I get a little more in depth, right? So like on my YouTube channels, I usually teach, you know what I'm saying, a little 5-6 minute clip. But these are, you know, hour-long courses that really focus on one particular topic. So it's really excellent for the beginner or somebody who wants to just learn one thing. And, you know, touching on that Philly shell thing that you said, I had for a lot of years, a lot of people basically have put me in a box of, oh, that's the guy for the Philly shell. And I'm honored for that, because the Philly shell is a fantastic defensive tool, but for me is a tool. So for the people who want to learn the Philly shell, you have to also be aware that you're not going to never fall in love with one thing in boxing. If I got to go ahead and give you a tip, don't fall in love with the Philly shell. Don't go ahead and say, oh yeah, I'm the Philly shell guy. This is all I do. You know what I'm saying? Bring that hand up, because you might be here and them shots might be hitting you on the top of your head. So what are you going to do? Say, well, I fight out the Philly shell. I'm not going to bring my hand up. Like, bring it up. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't bobbing under them shots or dropping down. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you feel like you're an aggressive fighter and you're being aggressive, but as you're being aggressive, you're getting punched in all in your face, maybe you might not want to be so aggressive. Maybe you might want to take your time. If you're boxing and you're running and you're getting tired, maybe you might want to settle down. So my thing is, every fight's different. So learn everything that you could possibly learn and use the tools that you need to use when you need to use them. Don't sit there and stick to one thing because you want to identify yourself as a certain kind of fighter. Boxing is boxing. You learn it all. You pull the tools out when you need the tools. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you one myth about the Philly shell, and you could answer that. The Philly shell does not work good against southpaw fighters.
I disagree. It's just things are backwards. Things are backwards. All right. So look, I'm gonna give you something right now. So if I'm in the Philly shell, right? When you throw your straight right hand, I shoulder roll it. Right? That's what the shoulder roll is for. Now, if you're a southpaw, go southpaw.
Go ahead.
Throw your right hook. I shoulder roll it. See what I'm saying? If you throw your straight left hand, I might bend my waist right under it and get under your left hand. And then I might pivot and slide out to the right.
Gotcha.
So the technique can work. The principles are just a little different. It's the same hands, different punches. I'm still looking out for the right hand with the shoulder roll, but now it's coming around the side as opposed to straight down the pipe.
Got you.
Instead of blocking your straight left hand, I might just bend my waist under it. The same way I would bend the waist if you stepped in with a double jab and I dropped down, or if you threw a wide left hook and I seen it and I dropped down. Now when you throw the straight left from the southpaw, I drop down and I pivot right. So
that could be a nice counter with the nice counter uppercut to the solar plex.
Yeah, you can do that. Hey, I could touch you down there, or I can even sidestep to the right, throw the cross. Just like they say, you got to keep your foot on the outside and only circle left when you're boxing the opposite. If I'm boxing a southpaw, I want to keep my foot on the outside and I want to go to the left. Or a southpaw wants to keep their right foot on the outside and go to their right. That's true if you're working that part of the fight. But I can still circle the other way and set up traps the other way as well. But the problem is people identify themselves with one thing. The key is don't get caught in the middle. Don't get caught in the middle. So whether that's going under shots, catching shots, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, because we was breaking down the fight Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. That's gonna be a good fight, southpaw. And we was talking about they was bringing up the left hook, and then I said, it's kind of throw that left hook on the Philly shell. But I'm like, I'm not sure how he's going to throw them left hook with that Philly shell that Teofimo Lopez uses. What do you think about? What do you think about the fight? And what do you think about what I just said about left hooks off the Philly shell?
Well, first, let's talk about the fight. I think that the fight is interesting, to say the least. I actually know a kid that's out there sparring with Teofimo Lopez right now by the name of Raymond Ford. By the name of Raymond Ford, he's out there. He's here from the Camden area. Big shout out to Raymond. But
he's the young kid. He got a mole. He got a mole.
You know, I don't know if he got a mole, but he's young though. He's a young black kid here from Camden, New Jersey. He's undefeated and he's out there sparring. He's out there with Teofimo. But anyway, make a long story short, Teofimo brings a lot of, like, people asked me this question before, and I told people, and I did an interview before, and I said, look, if I had to bet the house, I'm betting with Loma. And the only reason I say that, not to disrespect Teofimo Lopez, but it's because we got a guy who's battle tested right now against a guy who we don't know yet. I know he could punch. I know he got a lot of beautiful tools. He does some nice stuff. I've seen his highlights. I've seen him fight once, but I've seen his highlights. He does good stuff, good tools. He seems like he's the bigger guy. He has advantages. But I haven't seen him do what Lomo's done yet. So until I see that, I can't pick him. Now, is he a threat? 100%. Absolutely. A big threat. And Lomachenko does need to take him serious. Now, as far as the left hook on a guy like Lomachenko, can you bring back what you were saying?
So I was saying we was talking about the Philly shell. We was talking about that Teofimo Lopez left hook could be his weapon. I was saying really that his uppercut or the right hand might be his better, you know, the money punch for against Loma, and another person said the left hook. And I'm like, to throw that left hook off the Philly shell off Loma, it might be kind of, you know, because he does the Philly shell a lot. Teofimo. So I was saying, how do you throw the left hook off the Philly shell to a guy like Loma?
Oh, he's just gonna have to shoot the shot when he feels it. It's not really that difficult. You can shoot the Philly shell from your waistline. So if you're standing like this, if I'm standing like this, it's really not a big deal for me to bring that hand out and throw the hook like that. It's really not a big deal. All I got to do is wind it around. So him throwing the left hook's not going to be a big issue. And he might readjust his hands just to throw it. So even though he fights like this when the punches is coming at him, which I don't know if Teofimo does. I haven't watched enough of him, but I know I've seen some of his stuff. But
he got a nice catch and shoot. If
he's fighting like this, you know, shoulder rolls and bringing shots underneath. But then, this is what it is. A lot of the times, you got to make these adjustments and disguise your moves. So if I'm fighting like this, I might for a split second go here. Now my hand is here for a split second. You don't realize that my hand is up now. Boom! I shoot the hook real quick, and then when the shots come back, I can just go to a shoulder. You see how that happens? So I'm here, all of a sudden a shot come, boom, boom, boom. But then when I decide that I want to go ahead and shoot the hook, I just bring it either underneath or whatever. So it's not, you know, I'm pretty sure Teofimo ain't fighting like this the whole time.
Nah.
I'm pretty sure he's moving his hands a little bit. And when he readjusts his hands, that's where the naked eye doesn't see what he's trying to do. And that's part of setting up a trap. That's part of disguising. You know, a lot of times you're disguising the footwork with the head movement. A lot of times you're disguising the head movement with the hands. And you're doing different things to get closer into range. And then when you feel the shot, bang, you just let it go. So, you know, I'm pretty sure a guy like Teofimo Lopez is going to feel it. He might have his hand out like this because he's fighting the opposite stance. So I won't be surprised if they have a battle of the lead hands. And then from right there, he just shoots the hook. And I think he's a little bit taller, right?
Just a little bit. He ain't that big. I mean, he's heavier, but he's not that big. Of probably like 1.5 inch. Probably.
I'm landing a left hook on Lomachenko because Lomachenko to me doesn't seem like such a defensive wizard. He's more of a guy that can turn you real good. You know, he's more of a guy that hits you with a head feint and move this way. But he's not really a guy that I see that when the punches come back at him dipping under and shooting and catching. I don't see him doing those things as much as, you know, him being the offensive guy. So
I agree 100% with you.
Yeah, so since he's more offensive and everything for him is angles and footwork and head movement, when the punches come back, I'm real interested to see what happens when the punches come back.
Yeah, man. But yo, what else you want to talk? Whatever you want to see. So the website, YouTube.
Yeah. I'm just mad that I didn't bring the ring light in here. I feel like I was dark the whole time because every time I'm looking at shit, I'm like, yo, that thing look clear as hell. I'm a little mad about that.
Don't worry about it. Hey, you're welcome anytime, man.
Yeah, let's do it. I had a lot of fun, man. We could do this again anytime. We could talk about boxing techniques. We could talk about anything.
Anything, my brother. Yo, good looking out, man. It was an honor speaking to you, man. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yo, and more power to you. Hope business gets up on an up and up again. You know, you're gonna be where you did this. If it is a setback, the guy's gonna give you double time.
The get back gonna be better, man. And I want to thank everybody for whoever loves and supports what I'm doing, man. I really appreciate that genuinely, man. Anybody who's ever even just dropped a comment on my Instagram in a positive way, I appreciate it all, man. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't go unnoticed. And I'm going to just keep on doing what I'm doing, man. Hopefully I provide value to the boxing community, man. My goal is just for the boxing community that I could provide as much value as possible.
I'm with you, my brother. Yo, God bless, man.
You too, my brother. You too.
Thanks, man.
All right, man.
Peace out.